Hi, Internet, and welcome to a rather tired Demagen, who was just about to go to bed when somebody messaged me saying there's a Final Fantasy XVI trailer out for the PS5. So here we are. I'm so tired. I've been at work all day. And I've just spent the evening playing some Vaporum Lockdown, which I've very much been enjoying. Although I got a bit stuck in the bit that I've just been doing. So we're going to watch the trailer. And I'm going to react to the trailer. Because it's a reaction video. And I do so many of these. And I love doing these. Actually, I do really like the Final Fantasy ones. I have no idea what to expect. Predictions? Really good graphics. Great music. I've been expecting that they'll go back to the high fantasy at some point. I'm hoping, because I literally know nothing. I'm hoping, I didn't even actually look at the logo, but I'm hoping that this will be kind of more of a higher fantasy style thing in the vein of 9 or even better 4. I've got to admit, I'm not super hyped, and I don't have a huge amount of investment in, oh, you know, Final Fantasy has to be this kind of thing. We'll see. Let's kick this off. Sorry if I look a little bit knackered, but you know, it's a work day. Make a day following content is captured on PC emulating the PS5 experience. Okay. Fire. Eyes. Eyelashes. In-game footage. Pause. Warrior of Light.
The target. Shiva's dominant. And only the dominant.
How do we even know the girl will be among us?
Our kind do not question orders, we follow them.
Chocobos! Our kind? Who are they?
Sergeant, let's summon their icon.
Icon?
Titan?
That thing's a bloody mountain.
Shiva? Squashed?
Our foe will not relinquish their mother crystal easily. This will be a bitter fight.
That looks very Final Fantasy 3.
You should not be out of doors. We have discussed this. Come, Joshua. Your father will be expecting us.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to
Fantasy. What Chocobo?
What do you mean you refuse?
Little bit of Final Fantasy 15 in there.
Pledge your sword to our cause.
Marlborough? Yeah.
What does it matter? It was the Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms, was it not?
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our realm from the spread of the Blight.
Dragoon! It looks very... That was Phoenix, wasn't it?
Dragoons. Imperial Vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
Corel? It looks very Solo, doesn't it? Ew.
The Archduke's son.
Phoenix.
Joshua! Stop this!
Okay, that looks cool.
Second life on fire. But that's impossible.
It looks a little bit... Ifrit? Ifrit looks cool.
The legacy of the crystals. Has shaped our history.
I'm trying to figure out what engine they're using.
I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
Brother versus brother? Nation versus nation? Huh. PlayStation. Not available on other platforms for a limited time after the PS5 release. That was interesting. I'm glad they've gone for a fantasy game. I'm glad they've gone back to more of the high fantasy roots. I think the combat looks very modern. It looks a lot more, modern action RPG. A lot more God of War or Devil May Cry-y to a sense. A lot of the armor designs remind me a little bit of either Final Fantasy III or Final Fantasy XI. Obviously, the graphical fidelity is quite nice. Creative Business Unit 2. Don't know which unit that is. I'm intrigued that the entire trailer is full of parallels. X versus Y. He's Phoenix? He's got the power of Phoenix, at least, to heal, to resurrect. The lip syncing obviously is rather off in a lot of places. But I assume Sony said, you want to release Final Fantasy 16 on PS5 first? We've got this event coming up where we're going to release the release date and the cost. Do you have a trailer ready? But yeah, this all looks very Solo, doesn't it? And a little bit Final Fantasy 15-y in that respect. Now, I quite liked Final Fantasy 15. Not necessarily a huge fan of the kind of boy band road trip style thing, but I liked the game. I do kind of feel like, and this might be a hot take, it's kind of Dark Souls-y in its general look so far, because of we've got two different protagonists there, haven't we? Oh, that bit is disgusting. We've got the solo character versus big enemy. That looks really, really cool, though. That's Phoenix being released. The graphics look excellent. The effects, of course, look excellent. Yeah, when you've got something like this. Not entirely sure what's going on here. It's turning into Ifrit. It's not possible. You could read the lip syncing there. Yeah, the issue that I've got, and it's a minor issue, is that the characters look a little bit dull. A little bit generic. It feels like they could do with something a little bit more. But I don't know how final these designs are or anything. I mean, it's interesting enough to to get me a little bit hyped for the game. So we've got this guy with his very pretty eyes and his floppy fringe and his earring. And then we've got this guy, who I'm guessing is brother? Or rival? I don't really know. He's got slightly more character, I think, to him. Just a slightly disheveled look versus this guy. They do look very similar. And I'm assuming that is on purpose. Nice tattoos, fire and ice motif. Phoenix, and I think that's the 16 version of Ifrit who has a tail, which is interesting, because has Ifrit ever had a tail before? Can't remember Ifrit ever having a tail. Though he also looks a little bit behemoth-y, doesn't he? There, but yeah, I like this idea of Phoenix being used, because Phoenix hasn't been used particularly well for several games now, realistically. Is that Amano art? Is that Amano's signature down there in the corner? Because it looks a little bit too detailed. It looks a bit too solid and structured for a piece of Amano logo artwork. Don't know. Either way, it looks interesting, if in places a little bit generic. But as long as it's got a good story and it plays well, I don't particularly care how generic the character designs are. Not available on other platforms for a limited time after release on PlayStation 5. Yeah, this scene here reminds me of young Yuna and young Noctis. They may even have used the kind of same model. I'm assuming this is the same engine as 15. I feel like it would have been a waste of an engine. Shiva looks cool. Shiva always looks cool. Ice, yeah, totally intentional. That. Creative Business Unit 2. I'm going to need to look up what that is, because they never give them exciting titles. You'd think I'd know what 14's unit is. Is it Unit 2? Don't know. But yeah, these... Oh, that's not very clear, is it? That's Titan being summoned. Yeah, those guys, their armor just looks a little bit kind of generic-y, as does this guy. But they've got time to work on it. I mean, it all depends on the context of the story, obviously. I suppose if they do look a little bit more generic, it means that Tetsuya Nomura is not involved, which for a lot of people will probably prove to be quite the blessing. But yeah, that does look, you know, it's got a bonfire. It does look a little bit soulsy with combat. A teeny tiny amount. You know, just the one-on-one nature of it. I'm sure by the time more is revealed about the game, there will be many more details and so on and so forth. It's just that man versus monster approach that we've seen so much of recently. We need the party. We need to be backed up by other people. I don't know whether a solo Final Fantasy adventure would really be what people are looking for. And I hope there are some interesting female characters that you have in your party, because the exclusion of Aranea and Luna from 15 was very much, I think, a sticking point for a lot of people, simply because Aranea was a cool character, and Luna, her story got absolutely butchered. I really think the loss of the Luna DLC, especially, I think hurts the 15 franchise as a whole. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued as to where this is going and what it's going to do. It being more of a fantasy game, I'm cautiously optimistic, because I do think we've had enough of kind of the modern for the moment. You know, we had 13, we had 15, we had 7 and 8. You know, the big modern games have all been quite techno-fantasy, Magitech. Obviously 6 can get away with it. 10 can get away with it to a certain extent. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So that is Final Fantasy VI, the Awakening trailer for the PS5, which is going to be 450 quid for the disc version. That's a pretty good price, coming out in, I think, November, my mate said when he texted me about it. Yeah, fingers crossed it'll be good. Hopefully. Hope you've enjoyed. Stay safe. Cheerio. Wasn't expected to turn any of this stuff on tonight. Whatever. Bye.
Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.